Have you ever wondered what it would be like to just distill decades of wisdom from a giant in personal development to get a simple, actionable blueprint for success? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do today, diving into the core principles of the one and only Brian Tracy. Let's jump right in.
You know, it all started with this one question. It seems so simple, right? But for Brian Tracy, who was working as a laborer at the time, this question changed everything. He just looked around and wondered, why are some people absolutely crushing it while others are just getting by? He found out that a single, powerful question can totally change the direction of your life. And this one, well, it's the key to everything we're about to unpack.
So to answer that huge question, we've broken down Tracy's entire philosophy into 4 essential pillars. First, we're going to tackle mastering your inner world. Then we'll get into the actual blueprint for taking action. After that, we'll see how to leverage the power of people. And finally, we'll fire up the engine of growth, becoming a lifelong learner.
All right, first up, Pillar 1, Mastering Your Inner World. Now, here's the big idea from Tracy. Every single thing you see on the outside, your money, your relationships, your health, it all starts with what's going on the inside. It's the foundation for everything.
This right here is the absolute core of it all. Some call it the strangest secret. The idea is actually pretty simple, but it's incredibly profound. Whatever you think about, whatever your dominant thoughts are, they act like this giant magnet, pulling your life's conditions into reality. So the real question becomes, what are you thinking about all day long?
So how do you actually do that? Well, here's a practical tool. Tracy teaches that you can literally reprogram your own mind using powerful self-talk. Just repeating, "I like myself," over and over builds your self-esteem. Saying, "I can do it," builds the confidence you need to take on new things. And my personal favorite, "I am unstoppable," just creates this mindset where a setback isn't a failure, it's just feedback. But listen, before any of that self-talk really takes root, you have to make one crucial mindset shift. Successful people, they accept 100% responsibility for their lives. No more blaming, no more excuses. They just say, "I am responsible. If I don't like something in my life, it is up to me and only me to change it." And that right there is the real starting point of power.
Okay, so you've built that strong inner foundation. Now what? That brings us to Pillar 2, the blueprint for action. This is where we take all that powerful inner work and turn it into real, tangible results out in the world. Tracy has this fantastic definition of happiness. He says it's the progressive realization of a worthy goal. Think about that. We are literally hardwired to be happy when we feel like we're making progress. It's not even about hitting the goal itself, it's about that feeling of moving forward. And that's why, without clear goals, we can feel kind of lost.
So how do you get that feeling of progress? Here's the formula. First, you have to be crystal clear on what you want. Vague goals just lead to vague results. Second, write them down every single day. This drills them into your subconscious mind. Then, look at your list and ask, what is the one thing here that will have the biggest positive impact? Start on that task first, and then, and this is key, discipline yourself to stay on it until it is 100% complete. Just doing that gives you this amazing rush and builds incredible momentum. This quote just nails the mindset you need to get stuff done. Tracy points out that for a lot of people, work has become a play place, where almost half the day is wasted on distractions. The secret to being crazy productive is just focus. When it's work time, you work. The 3 most powerful words for success? Back to work. And this chart shows you the direct result of that focused action. The 80-20 rule, it's like a law of nature. The top 20% of people in any field are earning 80% of the money. And it's not some kind of magic. It's just the consistent, daily application of focus and discipline. So the most important decision you can make, maybe even today, is to decide that you are going to be in that top 20%. Okay, let's move on to Pillar 3, the power of people. See, once you've got your inner world and your actions dialed in, your success really starts to depend on how you interact with everybody else.
Tracy tells this awesome story about an early mentor who gave him some really tough love. He told him, "Brian, your clothes are all wrong." And it illustrates such a critical point. 95% of a first impression is your appearance. Everything counts. Everything you do either helps you or it hurts you. There's no neutral ground.
And this slide really shows the transformation in thinking. See, Tracy was buying these cheap suits to try and save a few bucks, but his mentor took him to a real tailor to get a bespoke suit. It wasn't about spending more money for the sake of it. It was about shifting his mindset from trying to save a little to investing in his own success and how other people perceived. And this same focus extends directly to your customers. You have to ask yourself, what results are people really, truly willing to pay for? The number one reason people don't buy something is because they're afraid of making a mistake. So your job is to lower that perceived risk. You can do that with things like an unconditional guarantee. And when you do that and you deliver amazing results, your customers become your best salespeople, and they work for free.
Whoa! Okay, look at that number. $50,000 for one handbag. Now, is it really $50,000 better at holding your keys in your wallet than a regular bag? Of course not. So, why on earth are people lining up to pay this kind of money?
Because it's not about the function, it's about the feeling. It's about the status, the prestige. When you carry that bag, people perceive you differently. Your perceived importance and even intelligence are magnified. And understanding this principle, that people are buying feelings and status, not just things, is an absolute game changer for how you market yourself or your product.
And that brings us to our final and maybe the most important pillar for any kind of long-term success: becoming a lifelong learner. This is the engine that keeps everything else moving forward.
Man, this quote is just so powerful. Think about it. The person who doesn't read is no better off than the person who can't read. All the top people in every single field are just voracious learners. They get it. They know that knowledge is the ultimate competitive advantage. A single idea from one book can literally change your life.
So here's how you put that into action. Tracy's formula is so simple, but it's incredibly potent. Number 1, read for 1 hour every day in your chosen field. Number 2, listen to audio programs and podcasts while you're driving or at the gym. Turn that downtime into learning time. And 3, attend seminars and workshops to learn from the experts. For people in the top 20%, these habits are completely non-negotiable.
And so, we end right back where we started, with this one simple, unchangeable law. All 4 of these pillars, your inner world, your actions, your relationships, and your learning, they are all guided by your thoughts. Your life today, it's a perfect reflection of your past thinking. And your future? Well, that's going to be a perfect reflection of the thoughts you're having right now.
So, the ultimate question really isn't about what Brian Tracy thinks or even what this explainer has to say. Now that you have the blueprint, the only question that truly matters is, what will you choose to think about, starting right now?